All right, my name's Floyd. I'm originally from Lubbock, Texas, but I've been living in Fort Worth here for about 18 years or so. And I got my license, I guess, coming on 4 years ago. I had lost my job at the phone company. I went through COVID and was getting to the point where I needed some income. So I had the wild, harebrained idea of getting a CDL. I had told my son previous maybe 5, 6 years before that I would never do it. I was too scared of trying to drive in any kind of weather, and I was scared I would hurt myself or hurt somebody else. But push came to shove, winded up needing a job, and heard about different truck driving opportunities, seeing how much drivers could make. Oh, you can make this much. So I decided to go ahead and try going to school. Did it through Texas Workforce. Once I got the idea of going to school, I can't remember if it was somebody that told me or I came across it myself of trying to go down to Texas Workforce. Texas Workforce were real good, really no pushback. I think the process was done with those guys in maybe 2 weeks or so. As far as you have to do kind of like an aptitude assessment. Once you go through that, you'll meet with a quote unquote caseworker, and they'll wind up giving you a list of schools. Then once you get your list of schools, apply where you want to go through that process. And once you have your application in, on the backside, your school and the workforce commission to hammer out what they need to hammer out as far as your schooling getting paid and all the financials and whatnot. Specifically, no, I don't. I've actually thought about that before too. I don't know, man, how in the world did I find this place? No, I don't. I think it was a proximity to the house. I think it's not terribly far from where I was living at the time, and it kind of worked out. I knew I didn't want to drive way over to Dallas. I knew that, and I'm just kind of thinking about the commute, thinking about the drive. That this was the best, going in before I knew anything else. It was a positive environment. The classroom size, as far as when we were doing our book portion, I guess you could say, the class size wasn't too big. If I remember right, my class might have had 5 or 6 people. So there was plenty of interaction with the instructor. He knew everybody by his name, able to answer questions, and we're able to talk about stuff as we learn it. Versus, let's say you were to have a larger class size and it was more of a lecture, it might not stick. But with our smaller class size, where we're able to get that, because like far as getting the permit, a lot of folks get stuck on that. When it came time to the truck yard, the instructors out there worked with us as far as getting the pre-trip down. The pre-trip is the next thing that you're gonna have to worry about as far as being able to pass to get your license. Pretty much if you didn't know how to check off on that truck from bumper to bumper, you weren't allowed to go through. Then the driving portion, of course, which was the last component, well, next to the last component, as far as testing for your maneuvers. We had our trucks out there and we could actually hook on, test, and do what we need to do in the yard. And then, of course, being able to get out there and get our road time and kind of going through a real world scenario, a real world simulation of what we could expect on the test. As far as taking a route, driving down this particular highway, turn down this street, going down that street, simulating what the examiner was going to ask for you to get your license. You had plenty of opportunity to practice this stuff, and as long as you applied your stuff, this would be a good environment to learn in. Whew. Leading up to actually getting my license, actually been able to walk out the DPS with my license. Oh Lord. Um, I'll tell anybody now, driving a truck is the easiest thing you can do. Driving a truck is not hard. Parking a truck, backing a truck, all of that is not hard. If you don't let your nerves get a hold to you, keeping in mind the real world. The difference with the test is you only have a couple of times to try. You can only reset yourself up a couple of times and you fail. So I got down to the third time taking my test, and scared to death, that I wasn't gonna get it this time, and like, man, what am I gonna do? But I messed around and got it. It was like the weight of the world came off my shoulders. Get over here in the practice yard, nailing it. No questions, no problems, nailing it. It's not a matter of if I can do it, it's a matter of how long it's gonna take me to do it. How fast can I do it? But as soon as I get over to the DPS, I wasn't getting it knocked out. Sat down, prayed on it, went back, got my license. It worked out for me, thank God. No, I actually didn't get any endorsements on my license as far as a tanker, hazmat, triple double, or anything like that. Even my manual restriction, I was like, let me learn how to drive the truck first. And honestly, I don't think I had a specific plan, which in hindsight, you need to have a plan of what it is that you want to do. But one of the benefits at our school, was job placement assistance. And almost every day, a couple times a week, somebody will come out to the yard, come to the classroom, and make their pitch about why you should come with their company. And I messed around and chose a company, what at the time would have been a local company, and I got in. That it was, in hindsight, it was decent pay. I got lucky because typically, and this kind of goes back to having a plan, because a lot of companies want you to have experience when you're coming out. And of course, coming out of driving school, you're not going to have experience. How can I get experience if you don't hire me? Even though there are places that will hire you, you just might want to kind of have an idea of maybe meeting folks, making connections, finding those folks that will hire you fresh out of school versus the folks that won't hire you when you're fresh out of school. And I kind of, I started out pulling the drive-in, 53-foot drive-in. And it was more, it wasn't technically over the road, even though Texas is a big place. It was driving every night to Houston or Austin and San Antonio and coming back. I would still get in a full days of work, but it wasn't what you would call technically over the road. But currently, I pull a reefer, and you would consider it over the road. Far south as Cocoa Beach, Florida, as far north, up past Detroit, going out east, up I-95, anywhere in between. I could probably do a better job of my home work life balance. That's one thing I think folks don't think about when they go to get in the truck. They'll think, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in the truck. I'm only gonna do this. I'll go here, come back, be home. I'll go here, come back, be home. Well, that's all fine and dandy until you can't find a job doing that. So next thing you know, I'm currently blessed with the job that I have now. I get home once a week, or pretty much whenever I say I want to be here, I'm here. When do you want to go back out? I tell them. The only deciding factor when I come and go is my paycheck. I let my paycheck dictate when I want to come and go. It's not so much as the company. You'll hear about companies, oh yeah, you get 1 day at home for every week you stay out for a minimum of 3 weeks, something like that. I got blessed that I haven't fell victim to anything like that. But that is something that you want to be cognizant of. It might be different for a 21-year-old with no kids versus somebody that's 50 with 4 kids. You want to be cognizant of it. But kind of with my job position, what I got going on in life right now, um, there's a decent balance. Could it be better in my favor? Yeah, but that's just kind of where we are right now. Honestly, I would look positively towards getting with one thing I would not fresh out the door look at try to buy a truck and open and run for myself. You're not gonna make it, and that's not being pessimistic or anything like that. It's just too many of the don't knows that can easily catch up and bite you to the point to where it ain't worth it. But I would definitely recommend try to find you a good starter company that they are out there that'll actually let you run with a trainer. Um, I was lucky to get the first job I got, but at the same time, I didn't have a trainer. I was pretty much thrown to the wolves with what I learned from here in school and watching YouTube videos and asking questions out in the world. So any kind of training that you can actually get, definitely take advantage of it. Um, it is too easy to hurt you or hurt somebody else, messing with that truck. And everybody's goal is to make it back home to their families. Take advantage of the training. Um, Come to truck driving school, you learn how to operate the truck. You learn some of the procedure as far as like your pre-trip, uh, so on and so forth. But you're mainly, and this is not in a bad way, but you're mainly learning how to pass a test. Once you're taught how to pass a test, now you are eligible to go out and learn how to do your job. I've been driving for close to 4 years now, and I feel that there are still things that I don't know. You learn every day. So I would say, coming out of school, have a plan about, hey, this is what type of truck I want to drive. Do you want to drive a flatbed where you can eventually work up to doing oversize? Do you want to haul a tanker to where you can eventually work up to hauling hazmat chemicals? So on and so forth. Kind of have a plan on what you want to do, and then execute your plan. Don't lose sight of it. The best piece of advice I'd give anybody that's going to get a license is remember that this license is now going to be your livelihood if it is, meaning you wouldn't want to play games with it as far as any kind of speeding tickets. A speeding ticket, while it's not necessarily the end of the world, repeated speeding tickets is going to make you hard to hire. The harder you are to hire, the less you could get paid. A DWI is a death sentence for your driver's license. Yes, you can go through I think it's called a SAP program. I forgot what program it's called. You can make it through the program. Cool. You got your license back. Only thing is, ain't nobody gonna hire you. You're a liability for the insurance. Even if you were to get insured, the rate will be so high that nobody wants to hire you. So now you're again looking at working for pennies, and it's not worth the sacrifice and responsibility that you have as far as controlling this equipment, the sacrifice of being away from home for weeks on end, because again, we working for one of the lower tier companies. So the sacrifices you'd have to make just to say, hey, I have a CDL, hey, I'm a truck driver. The sacrifices that you would have to make. Don't play games with your license. Remember, it's your livelihood.